Welcome to another Game of Day by Isaiah. I'm asking Isaiah Rhodes. In tonight's game, we will have the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers come in with Kyle Kuzma, Markeith Morris, Marcus Gasol, Contavious Caldwell Pope, and Dennis Schroeder. The Sixers have Danny Green, Tobias Harris, Mike Scott, Seth Curry, and Ben Simmons. Now, obviously, both teams are dealing with some injuries, specifically to the Los Angeles Lakers, who have their franchise cornerstones out for an extended period of times, as LeBron James is out for 3 to 8 weeks with a sprained ankle, and Anthony Davis is out indefinitely with calf and Achilles tendonitis. With that said, though, the Lakers have to try to keep pace as best they can. They're currently fourth in the West, while the Sixers have dominated this entire season on the back of Joel Embiid, but he's out for 2 weeks and probably more, dealing with an hyperextended knee. The Sixers, though, are 9-1 in their last 10 games, and they've been able to sustain without Embiid, which has given the Sixers more time and more credence to allow him to rest as best he can in preparation for the NBA playoffs. Ben Simmons with the basketball, looking to score off a quick rebound, unable to score. Game tied at 2 as Dennis Schroeder got the first basket for the Lakers and Tobias Harris got the first basket for the Sixers. I mentioned the Sixers coming into the game 9-1 in their last 10. Their most recent game on Tuesday versus the Golden State Warriors, where they won 108 to 98. The game wasn't as close as the score might have indicated for the first half. The Sixers completely dominated. They got great contributions from Tony Bradley, who had a magnificent game before being traded today. Today, the trade deadline, the Sixers acquired George Hill in the three-team trade, in which the Thunder got Tony Bradley, but he contributed well. Furkan Korkmaz contributed as well with 13. Shake Milton had 13. So the Sixers got some great contributions off the bench. Then you look at what Tobias Harris did: 25 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists. Ben Simmons had 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. Lakers get a three from Marcus Gasol. They increased their lead to 7-2. On a quick attack, Ben Simmons tried to score over Marcus Gasol. He wasn't able to score. Now, for the Lakers, I mentioned LeBron James' injury. This was really a, MVP caliber season for LeBron, obviously, with 4 MVPs throughout his career and a consistent MVP candidate throughout his entire career. You wouldn't be surprised to say that. But in year 18, coming off of a championship last year against the Miami Heat, this would have been a culmination of a lot of things, considering how long he's been in the game and with the opportunity to win his fifth MVP in year 18. It would have been a magnificent story. But that ankle injury, which was suffered against the Atlanta Hawks last weekend, really threw a wrench in that, and the Lakers have struggled since. They've lost three in a row. They're coming off of a 118-111 loss to the New Orleans Pelicans, and they just haven't found much consistency. Obviously, with the roster completely flipped without LeBron and Anthony Davis, they've had to string stretches together with players that rarely play in crunch time. They've been forced to put players in position to have to be playmakers that normally wouldn't have to be, and they just really have identified so many different flaws now that the two mainstays aren't there to uh, aren't there to cover up those holes. So let's see what the Lakers are able to do over the next 2 to 3 weeks. LeBron's a machine. Maybe will recover a lot faster than people expect. But at 36 years old, and the wear and tear, the attrition that he's acquired over his body over the last 18 years, it's hard to say uh, what type of recovery he'll have dealing with his ankle injury. Lakers, though, up two. Seth Curry for three. He knocks it down. Seth Curry missed 3 games in a row since spraining his ankle against the Milwaukee Bucks in the overtime loss to the Bucks. He sprained his ankle in the third quarter. The Sixers lost that game in overtime. That's their only loss in the last 10 games, though. The Sixers have been able to get great contributions, as I mentioned, from the bench. Furkan Korkmaz, Shake Milton, Dwight Howard, all of these players have contributed to what Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons have been doing on a nightly basis, and that is why the Sixers are number one in the East right now, looking to lock in that number one seed going into the playoffs. The Lakers get an opportunity for Marc Gasol in the post, being guarded by Mike Scott. Scott playing the center position right now without Tony Bradley, who had just been traded tonight for George Hill in a three-team trade. Terrence Ferguson actually landed um, on the Knicks from Philadelphia. Austin Rivers is in OKC now. Tony Bradley's in OKC. So that three-team trade balanced out, but the Sixers don't have that interior presence that they received from Bradley over the last couple of games. Game tied at 10. Gasol makes the first, and he misses the second, rebounded by Ben Simmons. Tobias Harris on the right wing gets the dribble handoff to Seth Curry. Seth Curry now on the right wing goes back to Tobias at the top of the key, guarded by Dennis Schroeder. The basket is good. Tobias Harris this season averaging over 21 points per game. He's been very aggressive. A lot of that comes from the comfortability that he has with Doc Rivers. They were together in Los Angeles prior to Tobias coming to Philadelphia, and Doc Rivers has done a great job of holding his team accountable in a lot of ways. They've been able to finish games that they normally wouldn't finish years prior with uh, Bruce Brown, Brent Brown. So with Brent Brown being a solid coach, really lifting the Sixers from the tanking days, the trusted process days, he really established them as a perennial playoff team. But they weren't taken serious down the stretch of certain games due to certain flaws that they've had, which we'll address throughout this game. But more than anything, though, he's motivated Joel Embiid to play a lot better. He's motivated Tobias Harris to play a lot better and be more consistent as a playmaker, as a scorer, and that alone, plus with the likes of the additions that the Sixers have made. Danny Green, Dwight Howard, Seth Curry, these players coming in contributing to this team in the fashion that they have propelled Philadelphia at least so far this season. The likes of the Brooklyn Nets with that three-man uh, super team and Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, they're waiting in the wings. They're getting healthy in their own right as Kevin Durant's recovering from a hamstring injury. Kyrie Irving, while he's playing extremely efficient and prolific this year, he's been out the lineup sometimes. So now James Harden's been there. He's putting up a spectacular MVP caliber season also, but he's recently missed some games with a neck injury that he suffered against the Wizards this past weekend. So this could be an opportunity while the Nets are losing for Philadelphia to create some separation. While Philadelphia is creating separation from the Nets, Milwaukee is coming on strong. They've won 7 in a row. Giannis Antetokounmpo putting up spectacular MVP caliber numbers, better than his previous years in which he won 2 in a row. So you have the Sixers and the Bucks looking to separate themselves from the pack. But playoff performance is different from regular season performance. And I think that is where the Philadelphia 76ers will ultimately be judged. Yes, they're going to win in the regular season. They've done that for the past 3 years. Yes, Embiid is going to have spectacular numbers. He's done that for the last 3 to 4 years. But can he perform under pressure? Can he maintain his body as the games get longer, the season gets longer, and the games get more pressurized where the Sixers are running through him offensively? Can Tobias Harris step up as a scorer to complement Embiid inside and to make up for what Ben Simmons lacks as a scorer? That in and of itself is his own issue. But the Sixers and Daryl Morey as GM and uh, president of operations have done a great job of trying to make up for Ben's flaws and really amplify what he's strong at, which is defense, rebounding, intangibles, and being durable. More recently, he's been dealing with some knee issues. I think a lot of the times he's missed games has been more about rest, but for the most part throughout his career, he's been durable outside of the first year, which he had the knee injury that the Sixers shut him down. But outside of that, he's been durable. He's been consistent in what he's great at. The Sixers just have to figure out how to complement his flaws and amplify what he's great at. So uh, let's see how they finish out this season. This next 3 weeks will test them in ways that they haven't been in a while, but they've been finding ways to win in different ways. Obviously, with Embiid in and out the lineup, Tobias has stepped up. Ben has even stepped up in games where Embiid is out. So let's see how they finish over the next 3 weeks. By the time they get to May, their season gets relatively easier. So let's see what they do in the next 3.5 weeks. We're back as Philadelphia leads by 5, 15-10. Seth Curry just missed a mid-range jumper. Marc Gasol looking to attack off the dribble. He's fouled by Mike Scott. So we look at Tobias over the last 6 games. The Sixers are 5-1 in the last 6 games. Tobias is averaging 24 points per, 8.7 rebounds, shooting 57%. So that level of efficiency plus prolificacy has allowed for the Sixers to rely on him, and his ability to rebound and just attack in the paint gives him an opportunity to get off the boards, get easy access, and take pressure off of Ben Simmons as a playmaker, who is a pass first player, but Tobias gives the team a much more dynamic approach off the dribble. Seth Curry off the pick and roll finds Ben Simmons flashing to the rim. He attacks strong and is fouled by Marc Gasol. Sixers up 3. Simmons throughout his career has struggled at the free throw line around 60 to 64%. The thing about Ben, I believe, in terms of shooting free throws, is more about him getting there often. He doesn't take a lot of free throws, so the free throws that he does miss kills his percentage. Versus if he was to get there 10 to 12 times a game, him going 8 of 12, 10 of 12 would make the percentage look a lot better. But if you're going to the free throw line 5 times a game and only making 3, then you're shooting 60%. It doesn't look good. He goes 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Offensive rebound by Dwight Howard. I know Dwight Howard is happy to be back in LA. He, along with Danny Green, will be receiving their championship rings tonight. They were on the 2020 championship team with the Lakers that defeated the Miami Heat in the bubble. Lakers definitely maximized their potential. They were the number 1 seed in the West, did what they had to do, and they defeated all that came their way. Going up against the Portland Trailblazers in the first round, Houston Rockets in the second round, and Denver Nuggets in the first 3 rounds. They won all 3 of those series in 5 games. Obviously, the games were a lot closer than the series would indicate, but winning those games in 5 and then going up against Miami, who many people didn't see making the run they did in the bubble, to get to the finals and defeat them in the fashion that they did, show true dominance, and you got to respect the champion. But now that the bubble isn't there, and you have much more formidable foes like the Brooklyn Nets, hopefully the Milwaukee Bucks, if they can get it together in the playoffs, and Philadelphia coming on strong, then we'll see what this particular Laker team will look like. Danny Green driving to the, pardon me, Dennis Schroeder driving to the basket, just foul. He goes to the free throw line. Sixers up 3, 16-13. Simmons attacking, takes contact from Gasol, tries to get the floater, but it goes off the side of the backboard. Lakers get out and run. Dennis Schroeder kicks out to Kyle Kuzma. Left corner 3 for Kuzma. It's good. The game is tied at 16. And those areas for Ben are where he's deficient compared to the likes of Giannis. Now, everybody's game is different, but you have to understand, if you're not going to be able to shoot, you have to be able to finish at the rim. And while Ben Simmons is 6'10" with a great wingspan, good height on him and weight. He's strong. He has struggled to finish around the rim, especially with contact. Versus if he has a straight line to the basket and no one's there, he's able to finish strong and emphatic. With Giannis, yes, Giannis can't shoot, but he's very aggressive. And when he gets to the rack, he's comfortable with drawing contact to get to the free throw line. Contavious Pope knocks in a three. Lakers up one, 19-18. 4:48 remaining timeout called by Doc Rivers. He doesn't like what he's seeing. But back to my point about Ben Simmons as a playmaker and facilitator, he's an exceptional passer. He's a great passer. But at times, the defenses play him exclusively just to pass, and he plays into that and it makes it easy to guard him. So what he has to do is throw caution to the wind and be aggressive. It won't always be pretty. It won't always satisfy the fans in terms of the eye test. But you have to keep the defense honest. If you're not going to shoot the ball, they can't determine the fact that you're not going to shoot the ball. You have to decide. I might not shoot the ball from a jumper perspective, but I have to attack and keep them honest from a scoring perspective. He finds his way to 17 points a game every night just because he rebounds on the offensive glass. He's able to get loose balls, find layups that might end up in awkward positions for the defense. So he'll find his way to 17. But is he a consistent offensive threat? That is the issue that most uh, pundits have with the Sixers team because with Embiid on the interior, as dominant as he is, every great interior presence, especially as a big man, needs a perimeter complement. You could go back in the history of the game. The most dominant of that complement is Shaq and Kobe. Yes, Shaq was averaging 27 a game. Shaq was doing everything he needed to do to dominate in the finals. But his perimeter complements and Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, and even Penny Hardaway to a lesser degree in terms of scoring, but as a playmaker, most definitely. Uh, they were able to score and make up for his deficiencies as a free throw shooter and just being able to create off the dribble. Kobe, in particular, was a player who was able to score at a high level during Shaq's prime. You can go back to the 2001 season, the first time he averaged over 25. That particular season, he averaged 28. In 2002, he averaged 25. In 2003, he averaged 30. So you can see if you have the skill set, the requisite skill set, you can score in complement to a big that is equally dominant. Shaquille, we can go over his finals numbers for days, his playoff numbers in particular during that 2000 and 2002 run. Those years are when Kobe's coming into his own as the premier two guard in the league. So it's not foreign. Obviously, when you look at Kareem being the premier scorer that he was, the all-time leading scorer over 38,000 points, which LeBron is winning on as we speak. Um, Kareem at his apex didn't have the scoring punch that a Kobe did or a D Wade did for Shaquille, but he had ultimate playmakers like Oscar Robertson and Magic Johnson to set up others, and they were threats offensively just because of their IQ and their ability to make free throws and just really be a presence, whatever they may be. Um, when you look at um, most dynamic duels since then, they've been geared towards the perimeter base. You can look at obviously Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. You look at the likes of what the Clippers are trying to do right now with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Obviously, they're not Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, but a lot of dynamic duos are trying the perimeter focus versus what Philly is doing. Now, Philly has a duo, but it can't be a complete duo if Ben is not scoring, if Ben is not being a threat to score. Play your game, be the facilitator that you are, but be aggressive enough to keep the defense honest and make them regard you as a threat. Back to game action. 4:07 remaining in the first half. Sixers basketball, we got a foul. So Sixers still keep the possession. Matisse Thybulle in the game, the defensive specialist. Thybulle on the left wing, looking to rotate it to Tobias Harris in the left corner, unable to catch that pass, but possession will stay with Philadelphia. Shake Milton gets it to Danny Green. Danny Green, three-time champion with three different teams. Danny Green floater inside. He's able to get it to fall. Sixers back up one. Danny Green tonight, 5 points. Over the last couple of games, he's going against former teams and performed valiantly, actually keeping Philadelphia afloat in a lot of times where they look like they would blow the game. You can look to the San Antonio game that came down to the wire. He had some huge three-pointers to start that game and really established the Sixers going forward. You can look to the Knicks game most recently. Even though he didn't ever play for the Knicks, he definitely came up huge down the stretch for Philadelphia with some huge three pointers, especially going into overtime to save that game. So Danny's done a good job of remaining relevant when it matters most, knocking down the threes. He's a 3-and-D guy throughout his entire career, but most recently he's knocking down some huge shots for Philadelphia when it matters most to save games or even win them. Sixers make a technical foul as Harrell gets teed up. Montrezl Harrell, the six-man specialist for the Lakers, 2020 Defensive Player of the Year. Looking to inbound to Tobias Harris. Wesley Matthews tries to jump the passing lane and fouls Tobias in the post. Harris looking to attack, takes a screen from Dwight Howard. Furkan Korkmaz in the right corner, unable to get it to fall. Rebounded by Alex Caruso. Kuzma attacking Tobias and is able to score. Game tied at 21. Kuzma was looking for a foul there. Harris gets it to Dwight. Dwight guarded by Montrezl Harrell gets the floater inside. The eventual first ballot Hall of Famer has been really able to find his way over the last 2 years, specifically as a role player in winning situations. He knows his role now, and it's been quite an odyssey for him over the last couple of years because he's coming from the height of his abilities with the Orlando Magic. And a lot of times for players in their prime and elite players in their prime, they find it difficult to transition as the game grows. But in the last couple of years, Dwight has come to grips with what teams have asked him to do and what he's capable of doing within the confines of a winning situation. And he's done exceptionally well, specifically with the Lakers to rebrand himself and now with Philadelphia. Wes Matthews knocks in the three. He's been struggling all year. Obviously, Wes Matthews was a huge offseason addition for the Lakers. And when the Lakers were fully healthy, him being there as a shooting complement to what LeBron does and Anthony Davis does is ideal. But so far this season, he had not lived up. He has not lived up to that. So seeing him make a three is a big thing for Lakers fans and Lakers pundits so far. Lakers up 124-23. Furkan Korkmaz on the offensive glass draws a foul on Taylor Horton Tucker. Horton Tucker came on strong for the Lakers in the bubble at the latter part of the season last year, going into the playoffs. Didn't get much run in the playoffs, but he definitely was serviceable and consistent in the time that he got. So coming into this year, he's been more in the rotation. The Lakers have done a great job of building him up, and he's very comfortable in what they asked him to do so far. Very scoring oriented, but he's developing as a young player to be more team oriented and find his teammates a lot easier. Offensive rebound and putback by Dwight Howard off the tipping. Korkmaz missed that jumper. 25-24 Sixers lead the Lakers. Montrezl Harrell trying to score inside, blocked by Dwight Howard, emphatic block. And on the fast break, Sixers can't get a clean break because of the effort by Alex Caruso to break that up. But a big block by Dwight Howard on Montrezl Harrell as Wes Matthews tried to find Harrell on the dump off inside. Harrell went straight up. Dwight went straight up with the right hand block. Dwight, a three-time Defensive Player of the Year, no stranger to making big-time defensive plays. And we got a violation on the Sixers. We got some friction between Howard and Harold. Obviously, that previous play with the big-time block. Now you see Dwight being a bit of an irritant, and that's what he's been asked to do over the last couple of years. Really play his role, make it difficult on teams in every way possible. He's very comfortable in confrontation, especially on court. I don't know about off court. His personality isn't really confrontational like that, but on court, he does everything he can to irritate the the opposition's big man. He did it last year, especially in the playoffs against Jokic, against the likes of Kelly Olynyk and Bam Adebayo when he was playing, coming back from injury. So he's done his job to the best of his abilities. The only thing about that is when he gets in these back and forths with the opposition, he's very comfortable with drawing fouls, very comfortable with antagonizing, but the back and forth can lend itself to ticky tack fouls and just being very careless at times. So you got to be careful with that. But Dwight tonight doing his job. He blocks Caruso as Caruso tried to get a lay in. 38 seconds left in the first half. Shake Milton on the left block, guarded by Kuzma. Milton trying to finish inside. The layup is good. Strong attack there by Shake Milton on Kyle Kuzma defensively. So the Sixers go up 27-24. 26 seconds left in the first quarter, about a 6-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Kuzma has his dribble stolen by Paul Reed. Korkmaz is there to handle the ball. The final 10 seconds, he goes to Shake Milton. 7 seconds left in the quarter. Sixers up 3. Milton. Step back jumper from the right corner is no good. So the Sixers will go into the second up 3. They've gotten balance from both sides. And we got Dwight Howard ejected from the game. He's been ejected from the game, and that's what I was just talking about. Obviously, the ability to attack opposition and be that presence inside is something that you want for any team. But at times it could go too far. And in this moment, obviously the eyes are going to be all on you because your previous interactions with Montrezl Harrell. Now, when you get ejected because at the end of the quarter you're trying to make your presence known and bump Harrell in defensive himself pushes you away. Now the refs are looking at you, they throw you out the game. So now you're ejected, and you had a solid first 6 minutes, getting big blocks, getting key rebounds, bringing that energy. But when you get ejected, it hurts the mission. So that's where we are right now. Sixers up 3 though, 27-24. This is a game of day by Zay, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. Stay tuned for more as we go into the second quarter of Philadelphia 76ers versus the Los Angeles Lakers. So we're back, and as I just broke down the Dwight Howard situation in regards to him getting ejected during that break, Ben Simmons also got a technical, so now he has to be careful going forward. Whether this game gets really physical down the stretch, it gets ticky tack. He has to be careful about what he does because the Sixers cannot survive without him as a facilitator, especially with the rotation being cut in a fashion that it is because of Tony Bradley being traded and they're waiting for George Hill to come over from Oklahoma City. So now the Sixers down a man, down another man, up three. Dennis Schroeder will shoot the technical free throw and he makes it. So it's a 2 point game before the second quarter even starts. If you're the Lakers, yes, Montrez has gotten caught up with a pardon me. It should say 27 to 25. 27 to 25, and then Alex Caruso will shoot another free throw and he knocks it down. So second Techie misses it. So 27 to 25. Ben Simmons gets the ball for the Sixers. He gets it ahead. Great pass ahead to Shake Milton. Even though those technical fouls were uh, were a dent in their lead, they would get three back by Shake Milton from that right corner. Good pass ahead by Ben Simmons. Taylor Horton Tucker will get the 3 points back the conventional way. He completes the and one, attacking the basket with the left hand, able to finish. 30 to 27, Sixers lead the Lakers. Horton Tucker makes the free throw, so back to a 2 point game, 30 to 28. Paul Reed back into the game for the Sixers. Matisse Thybulle looking for Reed, and Paul able to score off the great setup there from Matisse Thybulle. And there's a foul against Matisse Thybulle on Dennis Schroeder. Schroeder tried to draw a foul off the three, but they said the foul was on the floor. Sixers dominating in the paint so far tonight, 18 points in the paint compared to the Lakers 12. The Lakers trying to keep pace, but that 6 point difference is really the uh, the difference in the game right now. Is Philadelphia is up by 4. Caruso trying to set up Markeith Morris off the pick and roll, stolen by Furkan Korkmaz. And Ben Simmons is fouled by Caruso on the drive. Korkmaz will be inbounding. Reed looking to dribble handoff to Shake Milton off the left wing. Back to Reed. Reed in the paint. Faces a double team. Kicks out to Matisse Thybulle. Right corner three. No good. Tipped out by Ben Simmons, but rebounded by Horton Tucker. Horton Tucker looking to attack, going baseline, and it's deflected out of bounds by Korkmaz as he tries to save that left corner three set up by Horton Tucker. Horton Tucker tried to find Morris open for that three, so Korkmaz hustled down to that left corner to stop that pass. Baseline out of bounds, inbounded by Horton Tucker. Shooter attacks, draws a foul, a bit out of control, driving to the basket. But another technical call. Another technical foul. We got to determine whether this would be against a Sixer or a Laker. I think the refs right now want to try to get control of the game as best they can. It hasn't really been back and forth, but free throw by Schroeder is good. So that technical foul is against Paul Reed, and now Schroeder will get the two free throws off of the drive to the basket. Schroeder makes the first free throw off of the two fouls, well, two free throws off the shooting foul. Second free throw for Schroeder is good. So the previous game for Schroeder against New Orleans, obviously he's had to be the primary facilitator while LeBron has been out. Had 15 points only, shooting just 2 of 10 from the floor. So I think for him, the efficiency definitely is going down without the likes of LeBron James specifically, but also losing Anthony Davis for some time. Sixers up one, 32 to 31. Ben Simmons trying to attack, kicks out to Korkmaz. Korkmaz knocks in the three, so Sixers back up four. Good back tip from Matisse Thybulle to prevent an easy layup from Schroeder. Thybulle again attacking Schroeder defensively. Schroeder has to kick it to Caruso, and Caruso finds Morris. Morris on that left wing was able to knock in the three, big three from Morris. Morris this season struggling to shoot the ball. He was a big pickup on the waiver wire for the Lakers last year. This year, he's playing 38 of the Laker games, averaging 6 points per game, 4 rebounds. But for him, the shooting has been an issue. Shooting just 40% and 33% from three. Now, 33% isn't what you want to see if you're primarily shooting the ball. But I think for what the Lakers need him to do in terms of just being scrappy, being able to move the ball, uh, attack teams defensively, those things they're comfortable with him doing. Him shooting a corner three every now and then isn't going to hurt them. But that only helps when you have LeBron, or that only doesn't hurt you when you have LeBron and AD there. Now with AD and LeBron not being there, him missing those shots are very very important because now you look at the flaws of this Laker team, which didn't necessarily come up during the playoff run last year. They don't necessarily have the best shooting. They tried to address that by what was considered to be an upgrade. You bring in Wesley Matthews over Danny Green, who was on the team to win the championship, but his struggles shooting, especially down the stretch of the season, were well documented. Now you look at what Danny Green is doing in the regular season versus what Wesley Matthews is doing, and it doesn't look like a fair uh, exchange there. Sixers trailing by one as Schroeder made two free throws. 36-35. Shake Milton for three, unable to get it to four, rebounded by Caruso. Taylor Horton Tucker in and out dribble, again deflected, trying to kick it out. He finds Caruso, 15 on the shot clock. Left corner three for Tucker, no good. Rebounded by Mike Scott. Shake Milton with the basketball, looking to set up something quick for Philly. Mike Scott thought about a three. He goes to Ben Simmons. Simmons crossover dribble on Morris. Morris fouls Simmons, and Simmons tried to attempt that layup there. Great attack on the left block by Simmons. Faces up, goes right to left on the crossover. Morris wasn't quite ready, and Simmons will be going to the free throw line for two. First free throw for Simmons is good. I mentioned Simmons struggles at the free throw line at times. Again, I think it's more about volume versus his actual shooting prowess at the line. Now, he can't shoot, he doesn't have much touch outside of that. But I think at the free throw line, him shooting 65% is more about volume versus him being able to make them because he's only shooting five a game. He's shooting 5.3 a game, he's making 3.4. If he gets that up to about 7 or 8, those two missed free throws will be more about uh, close to 70%. Ben Simmons looking to attack. He draws another foul on Morris. So Sixers up one. Ben Simmons trying to build his aggressiveness up here as the Sixers went into the second up three, but the Lakers were able to cash in on a couple of free throws and build some momentum from the line themselves. First free throw for Simmons is good. If we look at Simmons' career versus the Lakers, 5-1, averaging 17 points, 9 assists, and 8.8 rebounds. So almost 17, 9, and 9, shooting 53%. Misses the second free throw. Sixers up 2, 38-36. We approach 8 minutes remaining in the first half. Schroeder able to score, driving on that left baseline. Simmons on the right wing tries to set up a post game and it's deflected by Schroeder. Great defense by Schroeder. He gets it to Kuzma on the left wing, pardon me, on the right wing, unable to knock down the three. Steph Curry back into the game, looking for Simmons in the post, guarded by Horton Tucker. Great kick out to Matisse Thybulle in the right corner. Matisse Thybulle, not the best shooter. They're trying to turn him into a 3-and-D guy right now, and he just is not a reliable shooter. He knocks it down at times, but he's definitely not reliable when it comes to shooting the ball. His presence is defense. And on cue, we got a steal by Matisse Thybulle. He giveth and he taketh away. Great defense by Matisse. As he missed that previous three, he came back and got it back defensively with the steal. So game tied at 38, 7:25 remaining. Simmons with the basketball, 0-4 from the field, but 4 of 6 from the free throw line. Tobias Harris back into the game for Philly, looking to post up Tobias on the right block, guarded by Kuzma, kick out to Steph Curry. Mike Scott gets it to Matisse Thybulle again. Left corner three, he shoots an air ball. I think if you're the Lakers, every time he gets the ball offensively, you're playing great defense. You want to get it out of the Sixers playmakers' hands. That would be on the floor right now. Ben Simmons, obviously, as a playmaker for others. Tobias as a scorer. Steph Curry as a shooter. In the paint, Montrezl Harrell misses a hook shot inside. Simmons gets the rebound, looking to attack at the paint. Foul by Kuzma. So that's where Simmons is getting his bread and butter right now. 6:39 remaining in the first half. Sixers and Lakers tied at 38. Stay tuned for more. This is a Game of Day by Zay, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. Just to keep you updated on scores around the league, as we had a number of games. The game prior to this one was the Portland Trailblazers versus the the Miami Heat. That game came down to the wire with Damian Lillard knocking down 3 free throws to win the game for Portland, 125-122. Portland close out that win on the road. They are now 26-18 and tied for fifth with Denver in the West. Out east, you got the Knicks coming back from 17 down in the second half against the Washington Wizards to defeat the Wizards 106-102. The Clippers defeated the Spurs 98-85, and currently the Kings are up 11 against the Golden State Warriors 72-61. Steph Curry, the two-time MVP and current MVP candidate for the Golden State Warriors, is out for an extended period of time with a tailbone injury he suffered 3 games ago against the Houston Rockets. He recently had an MRI, and they noticed more inflammation on the tailbone, so they said he'll be out for at least another week. I think if you're the Warriors or Warriors organization, Warriors fans, and just analysts in general, watching the descent of the Warriors over the last couple of years due to injuries, unfortunate. But to see what Curry has been able to do, despite those injuries, showed you the caliber of player he is. But he definitely will need some help. If they struggle to make it to a playing game this year, obviously with Klay Thompson being out with an Achilles injury this year, coming off of a torn ACL the previous year in the finals, uh, they definitely will have to revamp their team. They've invested in Wiseman as the cornerstone in the future. They drafted him as the number 2 pick this year. So his development is paramount to what they want to do for the future. But they'll definitely have to do more to put around Steph and Clay, hopefully, if he comes back healthy. That remains to be seen, but hopefully he can be back on the floor. Hmm. So we're back. 6:39 remaining. Simmons at the free throw line. He rims out the first free throw. The free throw line is the only place where Simmons has really gotten money today. On the season, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 7.6 assists. He's played 36 games this year, and he front ended the second free throw. So Simmons starting to struggle at the free throw line. He made his first 4, now 4 of 8 at the free throw line. Kuzma with the basketball gets it back to Gasol. Gasol is re-into the game. Caruso takes a straightaway 3, and we got a moving screen called against Gasol, setting up that space for Caruso for that potential 3. So 6:22 remaining in the first half. Back and forth we've gone. Dwight Howard has been ejected from the game. It's been very chippy on both sides. The Sixers have had to pay the price for that, though. Mike Scott misses a front end of a straightaway 3 from the top of the key, rebounded by Ben Simmons. Tobias Harris looking to attack, gets the floater inside, can't get it to fall. Caruso gets the rebound, looking to push. Right wing 3 for Kuzma, unable to fall, rebounded by Danny Green. Green gets it ahead to Ben Simmons, who's on the right wing, looking to attack Wes Matthews. Left wing 3 for Mike Scott, way off, rebounded by Wes Matthews. So it's been a bit stagnant offensively for both sides. Caruso takes a long 2, rebounded by Scott. 3-pointers this quarter, Sixers are 2 of 9. Ben Simmons gets a pass to the right corner for Danny Green, able to stop that skid. Knocks in a 3 for Danny. Danny tonight with 8 points, 2 3-pointers. So Sixers back up 3. Again, Danny Green has won 3 championships with 3 different teams, most recently with the Los Angeles Lakers last year in the bubble, able to help the Sixers, help the Lakers come back from a 6-year drought of the playoffs and to bring that goal back home in the fashion that they did, obviously, with the league going through the league, not just the league, but the world going through a pandemic, for the league to be able to salvage the season in the fashion that they did and bring the bubble together and keep everyone safe. For the Lakers to come out of that in the fashion that they did showed you the level of will and commitment that they had to finishing the deal, and they did that. Saul left wing three, trying to tie the game. He misses it, rebounded by Ben Simmons. Simmons looking to push, finds Steph Curry. Steph Curry thought about a three, takes the mid-range jumper instead, knocks it down under pressure from Caruso. So Sixers up 5, 43-38. Head coach Frank Vogel doesn't like what he's seeing. He has to stop the bleeding. Sixers have been in control, but the Lakers have always responded in kind to keep things close. So it's a 43-38 game, 4:33 remaining here in the first half. Just looking at Simmons' numbers, being his steals leader last year, 2.1 steals a game. Obviously, being a defensive player of the year candidate this year, he definitely shows his value. But if he doesn't have the proper shooting around him, he loses it loses his luster because the as much as he's on the floor, at times the Sixers can go stagnant in games that they should be dominating. So I mentioned this game with the Lakers being in control, the Lakers constantly making a push because the Sixers aren't getting the threes to fall. The same thing happened against Golden State on Tuesdays. The first half, the Sixers were rolling, being up by as many as 20 plus. You put pressure on the Warriors. That game should have been done way before it got started, right? And the first moments of the game led up to that. But then you get those dry spots in the latter parts of the second quarter going into the third, and then all of a sudden you let teams hang around. Then Golden State's coming back. They actually came back and took a 4-point lead. But down the stretch, the Warriors went cold and Tobias Harris finished the game. If this Sixers team is gonna go where everyone ha- everyone believes that they could in terms of their potential and playing at their maximum level, Ben has to be way more assertive and efficient with his ability to put points on the board. Maybe not him, but being able to find ways to get this Sixers team to be more fluid and more effective, even if he's not scoring. It's a challenge. I mean, obviously, you don't want to play 4-on-5, but at times it seems like that. Simmons' value as a facilitator and defensive player cannot be understated. But when they go stagnant against teams like the Lakers without LeBron James or Anthony Davis, when they go stagnant against teams like the when they go stagnant against teams like the Golden State Warriors without Steph Curry, or against the New York Knicks, where they almost lost that game if not for Danny Green. Those are the games that you worry about because those teams aren't even supposed to be anywhere near you from a competitive standpoint. So imagine what would happen against a healthy Nets team or a healthy Lakers team with LeBron and with Anthony Davis. 3-point shot from Mike Scott, no good. Contavious Caldwell Pope comes down with the rebound. Lakers missed their last 7 shots. Caldwell Pope breaks that with a two. It's a 3-point game now, 43-40. Missed three by Danny Green in response. 3:41 remaining here in the first half. Dennis Schroeder looking to attack fadeaway jumper. He misses that horribly. Tobias Harris trying to get the Sixers an easy shot on a 4-on-5 opportunity, and we got a foul against Wesley Matthews. I thought it was going to be a violation. Pardon me, I said Wesley Matthews. That foul was on Kyle Kuzma, but Wesley Matthews showed frustration on that call. Danny Green will be going to the free throw line. Danny Green tonight, 8 points, 2 3-point shots so far. First free throw was good. Danny Green, I mentioned his penchant for finding his way on championship teams. Danny has been around a long time. Out of the uh, University of North Carolina, he actually won a national championship in North Carolina as well. So he's definitely been accomplished during his NBA career so far this season, shooting 40% from the field, 39% from three. So that shows you where the majority of his shots are coming from. He's knocking down a little over 2 threes a game, but he's there to be a floor spreader and play defense on the perimeter. He's doing so, and he's made a career of it, particularly in San Antonio and beyond. Kuzma looking to attack. He finishes strong. It almost looked like he was trying to dunk on Mike Scott there, but he finger rolled it. 3-point game, 42 for the Lakers, but the Sixers come back and knock down the three to open up a 6-point game. Mike Scott knocks in that 3-point shot, 48-42. We're under 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Dennis Schroeder with the basketball gets it to Wes Matthews. Back to Schroeder, gets it to Caldwell Pope. Caldwell Pope has been quiet over the last couple of weeks, really struggling. You can trace that back to a game in Atlanta where he had 0 points in 20 minutes. I think for KCP, the championship last year, particularly in the bubble, you saw him come into his own and really earn his keep, playing next to LeBron James, playing next to Anthony Davis. But when you win a championship, all the eyes are going to be on you and your roster. And for KCP this year, teams are closing out on him a lot more. He's definitely been under pressure dealing with the injuries to Davis first and now LeBron James. He has to be able to be a knockdown shooter, especially when Dennis Schroeder is drawing and kicking. And even when he's able to get the rebound and run out on a stop and pop, he gets a lot of opportunities that he just isn't knocking down right now. Get a 30-second timeout. Sixers up three. Thanks for love out in Australia, pardon me, in Brazil for sure. I appreciate that. I'll be sure to make sure that I call these games so that way out in Brazil, no matter what, you can still hear what's going on. Sixers up, Sixers up six, 48-42. Pardon me, I said three. 48-42. Montrezl Harrell at the free throw line. He misses the first. But again, much love from Brazil. Appreciate you for tapping in for as long as you can. I know the time difference is what it is, but even in Brazil, you're gonna get love from the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. This is a game a day by Isaiah. Thank you for tuning in, man. Sixers up five. Danny Green knocks in another three from the left corner, 51-43. So Danny Green's been really the one that's created the separation for the Sixers right now. He's knocking down his three ball. He's attacking defensively, and that is what's allowed Philadelphia to get the separation right now. With that said, Dennis Schroeder is making timely baskets, keeping the Lakers in it. He just drove to the basket and was able to get an easy layup to fall. Shake Milton on the right wing takes the screen from Mike Scott. Scott thought about a three. He takes the three. He makes the three. So that's two straight top of the key 3-point shots from Mike Scott. If the Sixers get that, that's icing on the cake for Scott. Montrezl Harrell looking to get a finish inside. It's deflected out of bounds by Tobias Harris, but Harris couldn't quite grab it and get in bounds. He steps out of bounds. So it'll be 11 seconds left on the shot clock. Sixers up 9, 54 to 45. Kyle Kuzma will be inbounding on the baseline. He gets it to KCP. Great pass from Wes Matthews, looking to set up Harold. Harold able to finish inside. 54 to 47, Sixers lead. Wes Matthews has found Harold a couple of times or intended to on drive. So Wes Matthews looking to be more of a facilitator right now. We approach a minute remaining. Shake Milton straightaway three at the top of the key. In and out, no good. Fighting for that rebound was Ben Simmons. Kuzma comes skying in and snatched it away. Wes Matthews thought about a three, step back, couldn't get to it, but they work it around KCP from the right corner. He knocks it down. And those are going to be the type of threes that the Lakers need KCP to hit, especially without LeBron on the floor. Inside, Ben Simmons looking to get a finish. It's deflected. And we got a blocking foul as KCP will be going to the free throw line. KCP able to knock down that three. And this is where, for the Lakers, you just want to hang around. Obviously, you're undermanned to the 10th degree, losing arguably the best player in the NBA right now. And then the complement of Anthony Davis is the top 7 player in the NBA at his apex. To not have those pieces, you have to figure out how to keep it afloat. The trade deadline just passed. The Lakers didn't make any moves. There were talks about them getting Kyle Lowry, which would have been an addition and an asset, but at what cost? They probably would have had to lose Dennis Schroeder in the process, and I don't think they wanted to do that considering how young Schroeder is compared to Kyle Lowry. And while Kyle Lowry is a champion, he does have that wear and tear just from all the wars he had to battle uh, in Toronto. Sixers up 2. Shake Milton left wing 3, misses it, rebounded by Caruso. So this should probably be the last possession of the half. 54 to 42. Every time the Sixers have made a run, the Lakers have responded. So the Sixers aren't out of the water. Obviously, there's a lot of basketball left. 6 seconds left on the game clock. Schroeder able to finish. So 3 seconds left in the half. Ben Simmons gets the ball, looking to get a shot up, takes the three, in and out. He almost made the three. That would have been a big shot. Ben Simmons tonight hasn't made any shots, but many people have spoken at length about his deficiencies from three. For him to make that one would have been a big deal. So we go into the half. Game tied at 54. Back and forth we go. This is the Game of Day by Zay as the Sixers and Lakers are presented to you on the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. Stay tuned for more. It's So we back as we start the second half. Lakers and Sixers tied at 54. The Sixers have led for the majority of the game, but the Lakers have been reactive and making it very difficult on Philadelphia to create much separation. The Sixers shooting 19 of 44 from three, but they've been able to 19 of 44 from the field. Pardon me, but they've been able to knock down the three, which has allowed for them to get separation when they've had it. Simmons got a steal, but he ended up giving it right back with the turnover. Left wing three for KCP, no good. Fighting for that rebound, coming away with it is Seth Curry. Tobias Harris at the top of the key, looking for Simmons inside. Great pass out to Danny Green for three. Good. That is the type of gift that Ben Simmons has to be able to tip that pass on the money to Danny Green and then come back and force a turnover as Danny Green able to save the basketball off a great defensive effort by Ben Simmons. 6 points out the gate on the back of Ben Simmons' effort. Danny Green now with 19 points. KCP looking to get inside. Left hand off the glass is good over the outstretched arms of Mike Scott. Seth Curry looking to get it to Ben. Ben, left wing, gets it to Seth Curry. Left wing three is good. So the 76ers utilizing the three ball again. I mentioned that in the second half. Able to, pardon me, in the first half. Now opening it back up. Seth Curry now with 11 points, 4 of 7 from the floor, 3 of 5 from 3. And Dennis Schroeder's keeping the Lakers alive as best he can. Able to, pardon me, get another basket. 63 to 58. Dennis Schroeder now with 16 points. Mike Scott thought about a three, goes to Seth Curry in the left corner. Curry works his way back to the right side, looking for Tobias on the right block, guarded by KCP. Tobias, fadeaway jumper, rolls around the rim and in. So back and forth we go. Tobias now starting to get it going. We look at this quarter, the Sixers are 4 of 5 from the floor. Lakers equally efficient, 2 of 3, but those extra possessions set up by Ben Simmons has created this separation. Great deflection there by Simmons on Kuzma. Seth Curry looking to attack, kicks out to Danny Green. Right corner three, in and out, no good. Rebounded by Kuzma. Great setup there by Seth Curry. Great defense by Ben Simmons to start that break, but the ball just rimmed out. Gasol in the post against Mike Scott, and it'll be a turnover as the ball goes off of KCP. Great defense there by Seth Curry to close out on KCP to make it difficult. As we look at the setup by Ben Simmons in the post, had the mismatch on Dennis Schroeder, able to kick out by the off his fingertips to Danny Green on the rope to knock down that three. Danny Green from the right corner again, another three. He won't miss it 2 times in a row. Sixers now up 10. Great defense by, pardon me, great shooting by Danny Green tonight. Obviously, back in LA where he won a championship last year. It wasn't in LA, it was in the bubble out there in Florida, but nevertheless, as the Los Angeles Lakers winning his third championship on 3 different teams. In the Staples Center, he's comfortable. Sixers up 10. We'll be back with more. This is a Game Day by Zay, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. And we're back as the Sixers open up a 10-point lead, 68 to 58. Big 3-point shots by Danny Green has created that separation. So far, the Sixers have been able to get out and play at a high level, contributed by the 3-point line. Tobias Harris misses a three from that left corner. But the Sixers have gotten great contributions from Danny Green tonight, 22 points. And aside from that, the Sixers haven't really got much scoring anywhere else. You got 9 points from Tobias, four from Ben Simmons, but 11 assists. You got 11 points from Seth Curry, so he's the second player in double figures. But other than that, the Sixers have got 4 points here from Ben, 5 points from Shake Milton, 6 points from Dwight Howard, all in the first quarter before getting ejected in a controversial ejection, I'm sure. Uh, and then you got Furkan Korkmaz with three. So the Sixers have utilized the 3-point line, but they haven't gotten prolific scoring. So far from three, the Sixers are 13 of 30. They just missed the three there. But up seven, the Lakers have not gone away, though. That is a byproduct of Dennis Schroeder's effectiveness and ability to just make timely shots and keep it close. And every time the Sixers might have a stagnant, a little stretch, 2 to 3 minutes here or there. Schroeder's been able to get to the free throw line, put pressure on the Sixers, keep them vulnerable. And at times, Doc Rivers has had to call a timeout to really settle things down. So this is definitely a trap game if you're the Sixers. Obviously, you're the more adept team to win games. But again, foul trouble, timely, timely shots, and stagnant play from Philadelphia can keep the Lakers in position to win a game. So we look at this possession here. Tobias guarding Marc Gasol. They call a foul on Harris, even though Gasol was clearly short on that hook shot. He'll be going to the free throw line for two. Gasol this year hasn't played up to the potential that many Laker fans anticipated when they signed Marc Gasol in the offseason. Gasol, a champion with the Toronto Raptors. The majority of his career, the bulk and really peak of his career came with the Memphis Grizzlies, where he spent close to 12 seasons. But since then, he's won a championship with Toronto. On the year with the Lakers, averaging under 5 points a game. So I'm not sure that's what they wanted. Plus, he's been out of the lineup with injuries, COVID protocol, and things of that nature. But when you look at what he could potentially do in the playoffs, stretch the floor, be utilized as a playmaker out of the post, he's definitely a weapon that the Lakers will use. But with that said, they have to be healthy and have LeBron and AD for that to even be effective. As the Lakers trying to find a opportunity to score, Kyle Kuzma wasn't able to get the layup they call a turnover as Kuzma tried to get a wraparound pass from Dennis Schroeder on the move and try to get an easy opportunity at the basket prior to driving to the rim. He stepped out of bounds. So to be 68-62 Sixers basketball, 7:05 remaining here in the third. Sixers had opened up a 10-point lead, 68 to 58, but some free throws from the Lakers have gotten back to within two possessions. Great pass inside from Seth Curry to Ben Simmons. And Ben able to get his first basket of the game, set up by Ben Simmons, set up by Seth Curry's drive to give Ben a two-hand slam. Montrezl Harrell trying to set up KCP off a wraparound pass on the baseline. It's stolen. Steph Curry step back three, knocks it down. Big time three by Steph Curry. Sixers up 11. Steph Curry creating some separations. Great playmaking as he sets up Ben Simmons for his first basket of the game. Then comes back off of Tobias Harris. Still miscommunication between Harrell and KCP there on the baseline. Sixers able to get out and run a step back three for Steph Curry now with 14 points. Curry so far this season averaging 13 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 46% from the floor. But Curry's been a secondary ball handler, and I mentioned his prowess for shooting. It's allowed the Sixers to stretch the floor, and he's a gamer. He's very comfortable playing for his father-in-law and Doc Rivers, and playing at this level and having an opportunity to compete over the last couple of years, whether it be with Portland, Dallas, and Philadelphia now. He's definitely showcasing his ability as a great player in this league. So we're back as the Sixers lead by 11. Great, great third quarter here by Seth Curry and Danny Green to open up this separation. Lakers out of control right now. Montrezl Harrell turnover. Sixers looking to get out and run on the right wing. Seth Curry goes to Tobias Harris. Great steal there by um, Matisse Thybulle to play the passing lane and catch Montrez slipping on that pass cross court. Seth Curry right wing three out of the post from Tobias Harris. Couldn't knock it down, but back tipped to Danny Green by Matisse Thybulle. Great effort on the offensive glass. Seth Curry with 10 on the shot clock takes another right wing three, knocks it down. He won't miss from the same spot two times in a row. 76-62, Sixers lead. Kyle Kuzma guarded by Matisse Thybulle. Great deflection there, but uh, Dennis Schroeder is there to reset for the Lakers. KCP thought about a shot, looking for Dennis Schroeder at the top of the key, 5 on the shot clock. Schroeder has to make something happen. He does. Sixers looking for offensive foul with the left arm. Others thought that Schroeder hooked on his way to the basket. But again, every time the Sixers create some separation, Schroeder's been the one for the Lakers to try to keep things afloat as best he can. Right now, Schroeder with uh, 14 points. Pardon me. Schroeder with 16 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. Makes the first free throw, so now to 17. Second free throw is good. So 12-point game. We approach 5 minutes remaining in the third. Ben Simmons tonight only 6 points, but 11 assists, contributing in other ways. He attacks the baskets, find Matisse Thybulle in the right corner. They work it around to the top of the key. Danny Green straightaway three, unable to get it to fall. Danny Green tonight playing exceptionally well. Almost got a steal there. Great effort defensively by Danny Green, and Matisse Thybulle able to play the passing lane for a steal. He gets the slam. A lot of that was predicated off of Danny Green's initial defense. The deflection put the Lakers in the scramble, and they were trying to get out of the layer that is Danny Green's defense, and in the process went into Matisse Thybulle. Missed three from Kyle Kuzma. Can't stop the bleeding. It's 78-64. Sixers with the basketball approaching 4 minutes to play. Sixers now with 11 steals tonight. Ben Simmons playing the offensive glass. Can't get the finish off of the great move from Seth Curry. He missed the layup. I think that the ball would initially have rolled off, but Simmons was already in the air. He couldn't. That was close. That was close. It was close. I wouldn't challenge it because the game's not in the balance. It's the third quarter. You need to save your challenges just in case. Sixers get another steal anyway. So whatever happens, you'll get an opportunity to score. With Tobias Harris at the rim, he gets the left hand layup to fall. Another assist for Ben Simmons. Sixers now on a 17-6 run. They've opened up a 16-point lead. Right now, the Lakers just aren't able to get anything cohesive right now. They're trying to keep it competitive as best they can. Horton Tucker attacking, finishes with the right hand, unable to get it to fall though. Danny Green with the rebound looking to push. Thought about a three. He attacks off the crossover. He's fouled at the three-point line. But that move there shows you the type of groove that the Sixers are in. Danny Green barely handles the basketball. That's not what he's about. He's a spot-up shooter who plays defense. But the Sixers are in such control that he's in a position to attack. He has 22 points. He's been getting multiple deflections. He has a couple of steals. Just great effort now from Philadelphia all the way around. Ben Simmons to Tobias Harris. 10 on the shot clock. Tobias with the floater inside. They took a point away from a Philadelphia basket. One of them might have been a long two. Not quite sure which one. But it doesn't matter because Tobias gets a floater inside. Horton Tucker trying to kick it out to Kuzma. Kuzma attacking. And we got a blocking foul. It'll be an M1 as the ball sneaks in the rim there. I thought it could have been a travel. We got to see where Danny Green's feet are on this travel. It's outside the restricted area, but he's definitely still moving into Kuzma as Kuzma Euro steps his way to that basket. So it's a 15-point game with Kuzma having an opportunity for the free throw line after this break. Sixers lead 81-66. Stay tuned for more. This is the Game of the Day by Isaiah. I'm Ask Isaiah Rhodes. Thank you for tapping in, as this is the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Los Angeles Lakers live. Just to give you some scores around the league to keep you updated. Portland defeated Miami 125-122. The Knicks defeated the Wizards 106-102. Wizards were able to come back from 17 in the second half, late in that third quarter, more specifically. Coming up big in that fourth quarter, Alec Burke, uh, RJ Barrett, and others really made up for the slack with Julius Randle struggling due to injuries late in that second half. But when you look at what Julius Randle was able to do to finish that game, shows you why this was his first year as an All-Star. The Clippers defeated the Spurs 98-85. Sixers currently up 15 with Kyle Kuzma going to the free throw line to cut the deficit to 14. And with 7:54 remaining in the fourth quarter, the Kings are ahead of the Warriors 117-105. Kuzma at the free throw line 14 points, 6 of 14 from the floor, 4 rebounds. He makes the free throw, so it's a 14-point game, 81-67 with 3 minutes remaining. Shake Milton back into the game. Milton attacking, takes contact from Montrezl Harrell, and we got a foul under the basket against Caruso. So they will say the basket will count this deliberation because they have to see if the basket was in motion before the foul. So I think the basket will count based off the replay. The basket will count, and you got a foul against Caruso trying to box out Ben Simmons. So Shake Milton might be trying to sneak a one opportunity here. He definitely was in the motion he was in the shooting motion during the foul, but they always got to review this just to make sure. I think it was a basket for Milton, and Ben Simmons will get one free throw. Okay. So the Sixers get the basket from Milton, like I said, and Simmons will go to the free throw line for one. Free throw for Simmons is good. So Sixers back up 17, 2:51 remaining. Caruso on the left wing goes to Harrell. Harrell with the basketball working at the top of the key. Dribble handoff to Caruso. Going back to Harrell in the post. Mismatch with Shake Milton on the left block. Floated by Harrell. No good, but we got a foul. They call a foul on Ben Simmons. Pardon me, an illegal defense on Ben Simmons. And Kyle Kuzma will go to the free throw line, and he gets that free throw to bounce off the front rim and in. So for Philly, they're in control. They're doing what they need to do. They're getting the stops. Foul trouble has kept them vulnerable at times, but they've been able to open up this lead with great three-point shooting on the back of Danny Green and Steph Curry. So to maintain that, great pass and setup by Montrezl Harrell for Kyle Kuzma, but the three-point shot was way off. Ben Simmons looking to attack, crossover dribble right to left. He misses it, and the rebound by Horton Tucker. He kicks it out to Wesley Matthews. Matthews sets up Caruso in the left corner. The three is no good. Kuzma on the offensive glass can't finish. The Lakers need a basket badly. Horton Tucker for three. He can't get it to fall. And we got a loose ball foul against the Sixers. Right now, the lid is on the Lakers basket all the way around. They had multiple opportunities at the rim, even a couple of open threes on this one possession. They still can't get a basket. But because of the loose ball foul, Lakers have the Sixers in the penalty. So with 2 minutes left, Montrezl Harrell will go to the free throw line. Harrell's been a great uh, he's been a great contributor to all teams he's been on, especially off the bench. He knows his role. He plays his role with tenacity and with pride. The issue is his game is somewhat limited in how he scores. Because of his size at his position, he's 6'7", but he plays the power forward position. He he's undersized, but because of his pride and tenacity, as I mentioned, all positives, it's allowed him to be very effective. But the areas with which he plays in makes him very one-dimensional. He's always found himself around the basket, which is a good thing. But he needs someone to get him the ball for him to score. If not for that, he'll score off offensive rebounds, which is good. But depending on how the team defends you and how they are able to put a body over you, as Shake Milton tries to set up an alley for Ben Simmons, is deflected out of bounds, turnover by the Sixers. Uh, the thing about Montrez, more specifically, with how teams scheme against him, they throw bodies at him on the offensive rebound, so he's not effective on the offensive glass at times. He doesn't have the the ability to get his own shot, and sometimes that's difficult in terms of if you want to run offense through him. With no LeBron James, with no Anthony Davis, you need a go-to guy that's consistent. And Schroeder's been trying to do that, but I think Montrez has to step up on a consistent basis if this Laker team is going to try to salvage anything while LeBron is out. Montrez this season is averaging just under 15 points, 6 rebounds per game, which is solid, but he might have to get that up to about 20 on a consistent basis, next to what Schroeder provides, if this Laker team is going to have any chance to remain remotely 500 or hovering around 500, maybe 2 games under or a couple games over, just for them to stay afloat while LeBron heals up. Harold tonight, 5 points, 3 rebounds. Inside, Paul Reed set up as exceptionally well there by Shake Milton off the pick and roll. Reed able to score and go to the free throw line. So Sixers up 16 with Reed looking to get his 5th point of the game. He got a big dunk earlier. Reed also picked up a technical foul early in the game when the game was a bit chippy. But Reed, a two-way player, getting great minutes right now, especially with Tony Bradley now being traded and Dwight Howard out of the game for good off of an ejection. The Sixers are waiting for George Hill to come in from Oklahoma City. He was traded in a three-team deal that involved the New York Knicks that sent um, Terrence Ferguson to the Knicks, Austin Rivers to Oklahoma City, and Tony Bradley to Oklahoma City. So Reed will get some time until George Hill comes back, and hopefully over the next couple of days, while Embiid is able to heal up, Reed can get some minutes, especially at the big position, while the Sixers don't necessarily have a big. Harold is fouled. He goes 1 of 2 at the free throw line. It's a 15-point game as we approach 1 minute remaining in the third quarter. 86-71. We look at the free throws here in this quarter. Lakers 9 of 13. Sixers 1 of 2. Shake Milton looking to attack Montrezl Harrell off the dribble, looking to put it between his legs. It's stolen by Caruso. So a wasted possession by Philly. And those are the type of things that can haunt you if you let a team hang around. Caruso kicks it out to McKinney. McKinney unable to knock that basket down. McKinney spent some years, Alfonso McKinney spent some years with the Warriors. And we got an offensive foul against Ben Simmons looking to drive and kick to Matisse Thybulle. Simmons gets called for offensive fouls pretty frequently, considering his position. And I think a lot of that has to do with the limitations that he has in terms of his offensive game. Uh, he's very one-dimensional in how he scores. It has to be a direct line to the basket for him to be effective. He has no fluidity um, off the dribble, despite being the primary ball handler for the Sixers. So I think as he develops fluidity in his game, he's very stiff sometimes. But if he's going to develop and grow as an offensive talent, a lot of that will have to do with just him being able to create better off the dribble for himself. Uh, Lakers get a 24-second violation. Montrezl Harrell couldn't get the basket before the time expired. So 4.5 seconds left. Shake Milton with the basketball, looking to get a shot up. Step back three is good. So big three there for Shake Milton. They'll check the clock to make sure it was off in time. But the step back three under duress didn't matter as Milton was able to knock it down from the left wing. We look at the replay. Wesley Matthews on him like white on rice. It didn't matter. 3-point shot is good. 89 to 71. 76ers in control over the Los Angeles Lakers. Stay tuned for more. This is a Game of Day by presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. The current game between the Kings and Warriors is at 133, 115, just under 2 minutes remaining in the fourth. Look at the leading scorers for that game. Uh, De'Aaron Fox has been on a tear, especially since the All-Star break. Tonight, 44 points coming off of a 33-point performance against Atlanta. 44 points tonight for De'Aaron. The leading scorer for the Warriors was Andrew Wiggins, who was also their leading rebounder with 10. But De'Aaron Fox tonight, 44 points, just very efficient from the floor. He was efficient last night, 13 of 22 against the Hawks. But tonight, 44 points, 16 of 22 from the floor, 3 of 7 from the three-point line, and 9 of 10 from the free throw line. So very, very efficient as the Kings try to work their way back. Obviously, they're out of playoff contention, but with this playing opportunity, they move up to the 12th seed right behind the New Orleans Pelicans and Warriors. The Warriors are now in the 10th spot, but after they lose this game, they'll fall. They'll still be in 10th, but they'll be closer to 11th as New Orleans has been turning the corner as well. So we're back as the Sixers open up an 18-point lead. We went into the half with a 54-54 tie between both teams, but the Sixers outscore the Lakers 35 to 17. They're in that fourth quarter, and they're in the third quarter, and a lot of that had to do with Danny Green and Seth Curry setting the tone from a shooting perspective, and then the Lakers just couldn't handle the Sixers' defensive pressure, which was led by Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, and Danny Green, really clamping down in the passing lanes, allowing the Sixers to get out and run, create a lot of separation. At the latter part of the third, Montrezl Harrell and Dennis Schroeder got the Sixers in foul trouble, but it didn't really hurt them in terms of how they were getting their shots off and their personnel. Right now on the floor, Paul Reed at center, Shake Milton, Furkan Korkmaz, Tobias Harris, and Matisse Thybulle. As we start this fourth, basket by Montrezl Harrell cuts the deficit to 16 for the Lakers. Furkan Korkmaz looking to attack, takes contact, and he's able to finish over Alfonso McKinney. Harrell tonight, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 2 of 5 from the floor, trying to get things going. Great defense inside by Shake Milton as he rips Taylor Horton Tucker going up for a layup. Shake Milton thought about a three, goes to Korkmaz. Thybulle in the paint, going to Paul Reed, but we have an offensive foul. Thybulle got caught up in the air there. He was probably better suited getting the floater off, but he tried to drive and pass while jumping in the air. So uh, 11, 11 minutes remaining. Dennis Schroeder, leading scorer for the Lakers right now, putting it on his back every chance he can get. He's able to set up Kuzma for three, so that keeps it close. 15-point game, 91-76. Paul Reed dribble handoff to Korkmaz. Korkmaz step back jumper over Harrell. We got a foul. We look at the leading scorer for the Lakers, leading scorers for the Lakers. Dennis Schroeder with 18 points. Kuzma now with 16 points. Kentavious Caldwell Pope with 14. But I mentioned Harold's contribution must be a lot stronger if this Laker team is going to have to stay afloat. He only has 8 points tonight. On the Sixers possession, Shake Milton is fouled by Dennis Schroeder on a 3-point shot. So Milton will be going to the free throw line. Milton this season really coming into his own as a backup PG. He came on strong at the latter part of last season while the Sixers were dealing with injuries to Simmons and even going into the bubble when Simmons went down for good. Milton did the best he could to hold down the fort. He makes the first free throw there. On this season, Milton averaging 14 points, 3 assists per game, shooting 45%. So he's very comfortable in what the Sixers have asked him to do. And if he can continue to be a strong six man, you never know where this Sixer team can go and the ceiling that they have. He goes 2 of 3 at the free throw line, fighting for the rebound. You got a lane violation called against the Sixers, so the Lakers will get the ball. 93-76, Sixers up, 10:46 remaining. Montrezl Harrell in the post, guarded by Paul Reed, working the left block. Harold kicks out to Kuzma. Kuzma thought about a three. He drives. The Lakers working around the shooter. Right corner three from McKinney. Misses it horribly. Fighting for the rebound. Great effort there by Kuzma to make it difficult. And Kuzma steps out of bounds trying to save the ball back to Montrezl Harrell. But great effort there by Kuzma nonetheless. We look at the turnovers tonight. Lakers with 20 turnovers. Sixers have 24 points off those turnovers. The Sixers have 15 turnovers. The Lakers have 14 points off those Sixers turnovers. Korkmaz thought about a three. He goes to Tobias Harris. Harris looking to get the alley oop to Paul Reed. Great deflection by Kuzma. Kuzma on the fast break looking to get a Euro step finish inside. He misses the layup. Tobias Harris pushing the paint, pushing the pace. They get it to Reed. Reed on the right wing three. Can't knock it down. So the pace of the game is picked up. Lakers looking to get some quick offense. Schroeder looking for Harold inside. He goes to Kuzma at the top of the key. Back to Harold. This time on the right block. Guarded by Reed. Face up, turn, spin, floater. With the fade, it is good. So it's a 15-point game. 9:32 remaining. Harold looking to the refs to look for a foul call there. He's been very physical in the paint, especially for a player of Harold's style and how he scores. I mentioned prior, just a couple of minutes ago, just the way Harold scores. He's always under the basket, looking for contact. But when you play at that level, when you play in those areas, it's definitely going to be physicality on a consistent basis. Sometimes you don't get the call. We'll be back as the Sixers lead by 15. Lakers trying to make a push to make it as competitive as possible. Stay tuned for more. Just give you an update on the scores. Again, Trailblazers
defeated the Heat 125 to 122. The Knicks defeated the Wizards 106 to 102. Big comeback in the second half for the Knicks in that game. The Clippers defeated the Spurs on the road 98 to 85. The 76ers currently lead by 15, 93 to 78, 9:32 remaining. And the Kings and Warriors game just went final, 141 to 119. The Warriors fall to one game under 500. A huge performance by De'Aaron Fox with 44 points, 16 of 22 from the floor. That's a career high for De'Aaron. He's been on a tear since the All Star break. And now the Kings have won five of their last six games. So we might see a big turnaround for the Kings going down the final stretch of this 2021 season.
So we're back. Again, the Sixers up 15 in control. They've been able to do so without the prolific nature of Ben Simmons as a scorer tonight. Only 6 points, but he has 12 assists. They're led tonight by Danny Green having 22 points. He's been able to knock down a number of three-point shots starting early in this game, and that got the Sixers going. In compliment to him, Steph Curry's knocked down a number of threes, and Tobias has been relatively quiet. A lot has been made about his ability to score since Embiid has been out the game. Tonight he hasn't needed to. He's been a facilitator. He's played the role necessary to help this team win on a consistent basis. The Sixers have won 9 of their last 10, looking to uh, get to 10 in their last 11. They're first in the East. This would be a quality win, considering it's a road game. Even though the Lakers are undermanned, you always want to win the games you're supposed to win and win games on the road, no matter who you're going against. Tobias makes a fadeaway jumper from the post, 15 points tonight, 7 of 9 from the floor. Missed layup by Taylor Horton Tucker. Sixers looking to get an opportunity. Crossover dribble by Shake Milton as he probes the paint. Matisse Thybulle, left corner three, in and out, no good. Rebounded by Kuzma. Kuzma looking to drive baseline. Great defense by Matisse Thybulle, forcing Kuzma to dribble it off his foot. Great effort there. One thing about Matisse Thybulle, he's a defensive specialist. He's not the best offensive player. He can't shoot. He's not the best playmaker off the dribble. But one thing you'll know about him is he's an elite defender. If he was able to stay on the floor longer, he would probably be in the running for an all defensive team. Left corner three for Shake Milton, no good off the back rim, rebounded by Taylor Horton Tucker. Schroeder doing everything he can to keep this game afloat. Straightaway three for Dennis Schroeder, no good. Fight for the rebound by Mike Scott. Big rebound for Matisse Thybulle. 15-point game for Philadelphia. On the attack, Shake Milton going left, kicks it to Korkmaz. Left corner, three on the shot clock. Sixers have to get a shot up. 1 second left. And Korkmaz able to draw a foul with 4/10 of a second on the clock. Sure, if you're Frank Vogel. That's not what you want to see. But one thing we do want to see is the highlighted showcase of Elgin Baylor's jersey. Rest in peace to Elgin Baylor, one of the most prolific scorers this league has ever seen. He passed away this week at the age of 86. One of the best scorers, as I mentioned. Really a pioneer in terms of the high flying aerial style of basketball. One of the first players to play off the ground and really set the tone for all the high flyers that came after, whether it be Dr. J, David Thompson, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, and so on. Even into this newer generation with LeBron James, Zion Williamson, Vince Carter, and many others. To see where the game is going, a lot of that off of the ingenuity and just intuitiveness of Elgin Baylor. So much respect to him and the contributions that he contributed to the game, not just as a player, but as a former coach and executive as well. Korkmaz shoots the three. We got a foul as Sixers try to set a screen on Wesley Matthews. He takes the brunt of that punishment, and it'll be an offensive foul. Dennis Schroeder thought about a mid range, goes to Harrell, gets it back, and he's able to knock it down from the opposite side. So 12-point game now. Doc Rivers doesn't like what he's seeing. 6:21 remaining in the fourth. Lakers still hanging around. It's nothing but time left. The Lakers still have a chance. So stay tuned for more. This is a Game of Day by Zay presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. 76ers lead the Lakers 96 to 84. Doc Rivers doesn't like what he's seeing. So we're back. Sixers up 12. Ben Simmons back into the game. Tonight, Sixers have been in control for the majority of this game, but the Lakers starting to hang and creep back in. Dennis Schroeder mid-range jumper in and out, no good. Fighting for the offensive rebound was Montrezl Harrell, and now we have a 10-point game. So again, when you let teams hang around, they develop confidence. The Sixers have been rolling; they've been able to get shots when necessary, but they're a bit stagnant right now. They have to figure out how to stop the bleeding. Danny Green has been a guy who's knocked down key three-point shots during the game. 22 points tonight for Danny Green. He's been quiet for some time. Seth Curry with the floater, he gets it to fall. So those are the type of buckets the Sixers need right now just to reassert their will on this game. 98-86. Dennis Schroeder looking for Harold inside. Harold guarded by Ben Simmons. We got a deflection by Tobias. Couldn't quite get his second hand on the ball to corral it. But we look at the replay by Seth Curry. Splits the defense between Schroeder and Harold. Gets inside, able to shoot the floater. Dennis Schroeder looking to get a three. Instead, kicks it back out to KCP. 3-point shot is good. So big shot for KCP now. A 9-point game as we have 5 minutes remaining. Sixers still in control, but the Lakers looking to fight back. KCP tonight, 17 points, 6 of 10 from the floor. Harris looks to kick out to Danny Green. Danny Green left corner three, knocks it down. Big three by Danny Green as he gets the ring tonight for his third championship with his third team, obviously with the Lakers last year. But he knocks down the three, 25 points tonight, 8 of 11 from the floor. Dennis Schroeder looking to play the two-man game with Harold. Again, looking to probe inside, Euro steps, can't finish. Fighting for that rebound, Mike Scott comes away with it. Mike Scott gets it to Ben Simmons. Danny Green thought about a three, takes the three, misses it. KCP with the rebound. Sixers up 12, 101-89. In the post, Harold drives on Scott, can't finish. Rebounded by Tobias Harris. Harris crosses the timeline, gets it to Steph Curry. Right wing three, in and out, no good. Rebounded by Kuzma. 3:56 remaining. Can the Lakers make a run? Almost blocked by Ben Simmons. KCP will be going to the free throw line for two. So some big shots once again by Danny Green to create some separation. The game got a bit closer than Doc Rivers would have liked. Got it to 9 points. The Lakers were threatening, but Danny Green knocked in a three. Seth Curry had a floater prior to that. So those are the type of buckets the Sixers needed to reassert their will. The game is not over. KCP makes these free throws. Lakers get some stops. You never know. But anytime you can keep the lead above 10, as we get to the final 5 minutes of a game, you should be in control. Free throws for KCP are good, so it's a 10-point game. 76ers, 11 of 18 from the floor. And we got a steal by Dennis Schroeder as he disrupts the pick and roll between Seth Curry and Mike Scott. 3-point shot for Wesley Matthews, in and out, no good. Offensive rebound for Kyle Kuzma. So now it's an 8-point game, 3:26 remaining. Ben Simmons with the basketball going towards Tobias Harris. Harris on the left block, guarded by Wesley Matthews. Mike Scott for three. In and out, no good. Offensive rebound potentially for Danny Green. He couldn't get the tip in. So Sixers looking to stop the bleeding as the Lakers get the game to within 5 now, 101-96. And there's some discussion between Tobias Harris and other Sixers about the closeout ability going on now. It's a 5-point game, 3 minutes left, 101-96. Lakers keeping it close. You never know what could happen now. It's a 2-possession game. Stay tuned for more. This is a Game of Day by Zay, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. So we're back as the Lakers have fought back down by as many as 17 tonight. The Sixers have dominated for the majority of this game. They've been able to put the Lakers in position to have uh, really consider where they are without LeBron and AD. The role players have fought back. They've outscored the Sixers 20-8. I spoke at length about Montrezl Harrell being more aggressive. He's been way more aggressive. The two-man game between Dennis Schroeder and Harrell has put the Lakers back into this game. A deflection by Dennis Schroeder was called a foul, and we have a technical foul as Dennis Schroeder did not like that call. Free throw by Seth Curry is good. As we look at the replay, Schroeder looking to get the steal there, overplayed the passing lane, got the deflection, but refs called the foul on the body contact. Dennis Schroeder demonstrative in how he objected to the call. I thought that it was a bad technical foul, considering the time of the game and uh, when it was called. Seth Curry looking to drive, steps out of bounds on the drive. So turnover by the Sixers, up by 6 though. They got a point out of that technical foul. 102-96. We look at the replay. Seth Curry definitely steps on the end line. 2:37 remaining. Lakers down 6, looking to make a run. Deflected out of bounds. Schroeder looking to set up Harrell. 2:33 remaining, 17 on the shot clock. Lakers clearly on the run. We look at points off of turnovers in this corner. In this quarter, the Lakers have 9 points off turnovers here in this quarter. Montrezl Harrell, 13 on the clock, got it guarded by Mike Scott. Harrell floater inside is good. So it's a 4-point game now, 102-98. We approach 2 minutes remaining. This game is a lot closer than many people would have anticipated, especially considering how the Lakers were playing for the first 3 quarters. Seth Curry inside to Tobias Harris. Harris fadeaway jumper is good. Big shot by Tobias Harris. The Sixers needed that breathing room. Can they get stops to control this game? KCP looking to set up Harrell inside. Big finish by Montrezl Harrell as he's coming up huge here in this fourth quarter. It's a 2-possession game. Ben Simmons with the basketball. Montrezl Harrell with 14 points here in the fourth quarter, 20 points in total. Ben Simmons looking for Tobias, and it's stolen by Montrezl Harrell. Good defense by Ben Simmons prevents Schroeder from driving the baseline. He goes inside to Harrell, and we got a foul under the basket. So 126 remaining. Turnovers coming back to haunt Philadelphia at the worst time. You think about execution. You think about how fluid their offense was for the first 3 quarters, even the first 3.5 quarters. And then they took their foot off the gas, and now we're seeing the Lakers coming back when it matters most. We get a steal by the Sixers. Great defense by Ben Simmons. We approach a minute remaining. Tobias Harris with the basketball. He's made some big shots here down the stretch. Seth Curry as well. 107 remaining. Sixers up 4 with the ball. Tobias looking to find Ben Simmons inside. They work it around to Seth Curry. Seth Curry takes a 3. He misses it. Rebounded by Kuzma. Under a minute remaining. 104, 100. Kuzma gets to the rack, and he will be going to the free throw line for 2 as we got a blocking foul against Danny Green with 51 seconds left. So with 51 seconds left, this is a lifetime. You get these 2 free throws, hopefully if you're Kuzma and the Lakers, Regardless of what happens, the clock is stopped. So now you put pressure on Philadelphia to have to execute offensively. First free throw for Kuzma is no good. He misses it short. Kuzma on the season 62% from the free throw line. Free throw is good, the second one. So one possession game, 104 100. Sixers with the lead, but the pressure's on them. The Lakers have fought back. They're battling without LeBron James, without Anthony Davis. Ben Simmons, guarded by Schroeder. Ben able to get it out to Mike Scott. Danny Green, left corner three, good! Big three by Danny Green. He's been knocking down shots all night. 28 points tonight. I mentioned this is ring night for him, coming off of a championship with this Los Angeles Lakers franchise. 28 points tonight. Huge three-pointers. And for him to make that three when it mattered most, I know he definitely relishes in that opportunity. Big three for Danny Green, and the Philadelphia 76ers up by 6. So we're back. Sixers up by 6. 30 seconds left. We look at this previous play. Ben Simmons draws. Defenders kicks it out to Mike Scott. Straight to Danny Green in the left corner. Knocks in a huge three-pointer with 30.4 left here in the fourth. The Sixers weren't getting anything effective on the offensive end. They were turning over the basketball. Momentum definitely turned to the Lakers' side. Kyle Kuzma, right corner three, misses it off the back rim, rebounded by Ben Simmons. And Simmons will be fouled tonight. Simmons has not been knocking down his free throws. He's 4 of 8 from the free throw line. Nevertheless, though, Simmons' contributions have been tailor made for this game tonight. Not scoring, but getting so many assists. He's accounted for 41 points total, not just with his points, but off of assists. His assists have set up 10 3-pointers tonight. So his ability to set up others is where his true value is made. He makes the first free throw to add to the Sixers lead, now up by 7. Tonight, 6 of 10 from the floor. On the season, 64%. Second free throw is good. So big free throws when it matters for Ben. Up 8, 23 seconds left. Good fight, good valiant effort by the Lakers to make this a game. That's the championship pedigree. But Schroeder can't get that layup to fall, and the Sixers will be content with dribbling out this basketball and winning their 10th and 11 games. 109 to 101. Big game by three-time champion Danny Green. Those are the type of games you want from Danny Green to really set the tone for this Sixers team who has championship aspirations. Green tonight, the obvious player of the game, 28 points, 5 rebounds, a number of the big defensive plays, including 2 blocks and a steal. Ben Simmons tonight, 9 points, 7 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. Outside of his contributions, Tobias Harris, 17 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, very efficient tonight, 8 of 10 from the floor. On off the bench, Shake Milton had 12 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. The Lakers tonight got a valiant effort from Dennis Schroeder, who had 19 points. Who had 20 points. Kyle Kuzma had 25 points. Mark, um, Montrezl Harrell had 20 points. But again, the Sixers just really clamped down in that third quarter to create created as much separation as possible. They outscored the Lakers 35-17 in the third quarter. That really opened up the game for them. But in this fourth quarter, the championship pedigree of the Lakers stepped up when it mattered and made the game a lot closer than Doc Rivers and the Sixers team would have liked. They got to within four, but again, big time plays by big time players such as a three-time champion and Danny Green are what helped propel the Sixers team to another victory. So stay tuned for more throughout this season. We got another game tomorrow. Not quite sure what it'll be yet, but make sure you stay tuned so I'll let you know. This is a game of day by Zay. I'm Isaiah Rhodes, and you just watched the Philadelphia 76ers de- defeat the Los Angeles Lakers 109-101. Thank you for watching. Peace.